In this video, we're gonna learn how to beat women at their own game. What is a woman's game? It's when she thinks that she's interviewing you for the position. What we're gonna do is we're gonna flip it 180 so that she feels like we're interviewing her. So the typical way guys go about talking to women is they walk up to the woman and they qualify themselves. Hey, look, I have money, I have status, I have power, I have muscles, right? And you go up to women trying to impress her. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna flip the script, turn the table around, and qualify her instead. Okay, sweetheart, you're cute, you're beautiful, but what you got going for you other than your looks? So let's take a few steps back and talk about mindset. What do women want? Inside the game of attraction, a woman is looking for a man who can stimulate her mentally and emotionally. Easy isn't stimulating. If I gave you a 10-piece puzzle right now and said, here you go, here, have fun for the next 3 hours, you're gonna be like, oh, I finished the puzzle in 10 seconds, now what? Similarly, when you're too easy with women and don't qualify them, they feel the same way. They feel bored. Boring a woman is perhaps the biggest sin as a seducer. Be too cocky, be too arrogant, but never be too boring. So what a lot of guys don't realize is when you're qualifying a woman, that actually makes it stimulating for her. Why is that stimulating for her, and why does she actually like it when you qualify her? It's because most of her conversations are too easy. Here's how most of the conversations go with her and guys. A guy comes and he gives her approval. Oh, wow, you studied this? Wow, that's so cool. Oh, you play the violin? Oh my God, that's so cool. Oh, wow, you traveled here and there? Oh, wow, that's so cool. The guy is just approval, approval, giving her approval, approval, approval. Well, what do you do when somebody constantly gives you approval? You're like, this is really easy. Okay, I don't have to work hard for this person's approval. This is just easy. So you never want a woman to be metaphorically like filing her nails, leaning back and just thinking, oh, this is so easy. This guy approves of everything about me. Instead, you want to hit her with some disapproval. Instead, you want her to feel like, oh, damn, this guy's interviewing me. This guy's challenging me. This guy's qualifying me. So as a visual, you want women to go from a metaphorically, talking to you like this, like, oh yeah, another guy telling me how hot I am, to her like going like, whoa, 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 wait a sec, whoa, whoa, whoa. Well, this guy's qualifying me? Okay, I gotta pay attention and work hard to answer these questions properly. So, we take a question out of the great book by Neil Strauss, The Game. The question goes as follows. Yeah, you're cute, but tell me 3 things you got going for you other than your looks. Now, we're gonna use this question in 2 ways. Number 1, as a mindset, and number 2, you can actually literally ask beautiful women this question. In my experience, the hotter the woman, the more she appreciates the question. So the way I operate is as follows. I throw a compliment at a hot woman really early, and here's why. I want to get it out of the way, and basically what I'm saying is, okay, we've established that you're hot. Okay, we've established that I think you're beautiful. Okay, fine. But now, beyond that beauty, what you got going for you? Tell me 3 things about you other than your looks that I should appreciate. So now, where usually she's used to coasting because of her looks, she's now face to face with a man that's saying, okay, sweetheart, you're cute, but what else you got? Show me what you got. And that's when she perks up and she's like, oh, damn, this guy's different. And then watch in pleasure as she fumbles around to find 3 character traits about herself other than her looks that she's got going for her. Stop giving women free approval. She must earn your approval by giving you good answers. If you are not happy with some of the answers, don't give her fake approval. Tell her that her answers sucked, of course in a playful, teasing way, but let her know. On the other hand, if you liked her answer, then you can just be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, here's another tip. When you do give a woman approval after she worked for it, don't act too impressed. So here's an example. Let's say I ask a girl, oh, so do you play any instruments? And she says, oh, I play the violin. Now, a normal response to that would be like, oh, wow, you play the violin? That's a hard instrument. Wow, good for you. What I would do instead is I wouldn't act impressed at all. I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. So are you in a band or an orchestra or anything? So that's a qualifying question. Basically, behind the question, I'm saying, okay, you play the violin, but do you play to the level where you play professionally in an orchestra or something like that? Okay, and then I may have some follow-up questions like, oh yeah, do you perform often? How often do you practice? Basically, all these meta questions are qualifying her further. I don't care that you play violin. Show me how well you play violin. Show me what you've gotten out of playing the violin. You see what I'm saying? So never act too impressed, and also ask deeper questions to reveal if she actually did work hard, follow through, and finish something, or she just did something, but it's not really even that spectacular in the first place. So why do women like being qualified? Because they're sick and tired of getting everything too easy. In order for a woman to be aroused, her emotions need to be stirred. I have a concept called stir the pot. When you're talking to a woman inside the context of seduction, you imagine her like a big pot of water. The water represents her emotions. When the water is still, that means there's no emotional stimulation. You want to metaphorically come in with a giant spoon and stir the pot, okay? And when her emotions are stirred, that turns into arousal, okay? So a still pot is an unaroused pot, whereas a stirred pot is a very aroused pot. Now, if you understand this concept, you'll start to understand why women go for assholes and jerks and arrogant guys. You hear women all the time complaining, oh, that guy's a jerk, that guy's an asshole, oh, that guy's so arrogant, who does he think he is? And then a few days, weeks, or months later, we see that girl with that specific guy she was complaining about, and we say, that doesn't make any sense. But if you understand the concept of stirring the pot, and you understand the fact that the way to arouse a woman is to stir her emotions, then it makes perfect mathematical sense that an arrogant guy or a jerk stimulated her emotions, therefore she started feeling attraction for him. Whereas on this side, the nice guy came in and he was nice, which stimulated nothing. So it's safer to go too far and be labeled cocky, arrogant, asshole, jerk, because then at least you stimulated her emotions, versus not going far enough and having women tell you, oh, you're such a nice guy. You would make a girl so happy one day. Those are words of doom, my friend. You don't want those phrases from women. Basically, they're saying, you do not arouse us at all. So coming back to using her game on her. What you want to do is imagine that you are the interviewer and she is the interviewee. I am interviewing you. Don't get it twisted. And what do you do during an interview? You qualify someone. So, how qualified are you for this position? What past experience do you have, etc.? Well, in the context of seduction, you're just going to ask her about her character and her habits. So I'm basically going to ask her in a casual way. So all of this comes across as friendly and casual and light, but she can feel that you're qualifying her. Okay. So for example, I'm going to be like, oh, so what do you do in your spare time? Okay. On the surface seems like an innocent question, right? But what am I really asking? Hey, are you a bum that just scrolls on Instagram all day and doesn't do shit? Okay. So I'm listening. Oh, does she go to the gym? Does she do yoga? Does she watch her diet? What does she do during her spare time? Hey, what hobbies do you have at the moment? Okay. That's another good question. Hey, do you have a group of friends that you hang out with regularly? Translation. Does anybody like you? Okay. Hey, so did you graduate from university or hey, what university did you go to? Translation. Did you go to university or are you a dropout? So, do you live around here? What part of town do you live in? Translation. Do you live all the way in buttfuck nowhere because you're broke? Or do you live downtown because you got your shit together? So, what do you do in your spare time? Again, seems innocent. Hey, are you a bum or do you actually do anything ambitious, interesting? You know, oh, hey, so what are you kind of working towards in your life right now? Translation, are you on purpose or are you just like aimless and undisciplined? You get the picture. So I'm using women's game on them. Their game is they sit there and they qualify us. What you got going on? How much money do you make? Blah, blah, blah. We're switching it over and we're saying, hey, sweetheart, what do you have to offer me? Okay. If you recognize that I'm dropping some real game, I'd appreciate if you hit the subscribe button and also tell your friends about this channel. I'm dedicated to giving you no bullshit dating advice that works in the real world and in a way that's done through 100% integrity. So here's another reason why you want to be qualifying a woman and why a woman is attracted to a man who's qualifying her. What is that saying about you if you're qualifying a woman? That's saying, I'm a high value man, I value myself, and I don't let just any old person into my bubble. Just because you're cute doesn't mean you're coming into my bubble. I am very selective of who I let into the VIP. You need to answer these questions and answer them well before I decide that I'm going to let you into the VIP area. That's the attitude a woman wants to see from you. So, in conclusion, no free approval. Always qualify women. The more beautiful they are, the more you need to qualify them. If you leave this qualification process out, women aren't going to value you enough, and they're not going to be stimulated enough, and you're just going to be another regular Joe. Plus, you're going to fall into the trap of her qualifying you and you jumping through her hoops. That is not a dynamic you want, because if she's qualifying you, that implies that she has the power position in the relationship. And I'm going to leave you with one epiphany that came to me after one night out gaming with my wingman, Stefan. Now, during that period of my life, I was going out 3 or 4 nights a week seducing women. And one night I noticed a pattern. I told Stefan, bro, you know what I just realized? Every time I talk to a group of girls and they have more power in the conversation than me, they're never attracted to me. But every time I walk up to a group of girls and I have more power in interaction than them, they're always attracted to me. Now, I know that seems very simple, but that's some deep game. Whenever the woman has more power in interaction, she can't feel attraction. Whenever you hold the power in the interaction and she's looking up at you metaphorically, that's when she feels attraction. So you must keep the power position inside the interaction, and one way is by qualifying her. What do you have to offer to me? That's the attitude you want to have with attractive women. Once again, you do this under the guise of playfulness and lightheartedness and teasing. Maybe I was a bit exaggerated with my energy in this video, but the delivery of this is non-offensive, non-confrontational. It just comes across like very casual, lighthearted, and playful, but you're asking her those qualifying questions and you're not giving her approval too easily. So that's how you turn the tables and use women's game on them. Make sure to subscribe. I invite you to join my coaching program. The links are in the bio or on my channel page. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next.